is. It's the Ramsey Show, where dad is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, and my daughter is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. The call is free, and some say the advice is worth exactly what you pay for it. Starting off this hour is going to be Susan in Jacksonville, Florida. Hi, Susan. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up in your world?
Well, I just started listening about 2 months ago, and I've really started to try make some changes. And my baby steps have been all over the place, and my investments are heavily weighted into 2 spots, which I know is not the way I'm supposed to be doing it. So I'm turning 60 this year, and I'm like, holy cow, I'm probably not where I should be, and I need to figure out how to get where I should be.
It's a good question, Susan. So where are the two, you said the 2 main investments, where are they at? Where's your money at in them?
Well, I have a lot of equity in my home because it is getting close to being paid off.
Good.
Yeah. And of course, like I said, that's a baby step out of order. I'll tell you more. And I have stock in my company.
Mm-hmm.
And it's privately held stock,
mm-hmm.
but owning a good amount of a minimal amount of in my company pays me a good bonus every month.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great. My stock has more than doubled in the 3 years I've owned company stock.
Mm-hmm. What's it worth?
It's worth right now about $519,000.
Cool. What's your home worth?
It's probably worth $600 or a little better.
Look at you, millionaire 60-year-old. Well done. All right.
Yeah.
And what other investments have you got? 401k?
I do.
How much?
It's only got in it now with the way the market is right now. It's around 160.
Good. Okay. What else?
My total retirement with some old IRAs that I had that have just been sitting for years.
Mm-hmm.
My total retirement, including that 160, is about 257. I do have a $30,000 emergency fund.
What do you make a year?
And I make a good living. I make a little better than $400.
Good for you. What do you do?
Well, I'm a dentist.
Awesome. Oh, now I get the stock. Okay, cool. Can you cash out of the sum of the company stock? Is it set up where you can get out of it?
At some point, they will have, when they have, they only offer that at certain times. So there's none coming up right now, but I think there will come a time maybe in the next year or so that I might be able to.
Yeah, okay. So here's the thing. Number one, she's done a great job.
I was adding up all your numbers, Susan. I was like,
there's nothing
girl,
in here there's nothing in here that just like got a stupid arrow over the top of it. I mean, you've done a great job. But you've identified the danger zone is if some bizarre thing happened and this one company went broke, you would lose 1/3 of your net worth.
Yes.
And that scared you when you kind of looked at it that way and thought, now that's not the end of the world, but that's why I don't want too much in single stock. Like I talked to a lady years ago, I've used this example on the air many times, Procter & Gamble. She'd been with them 38 years and she had $750,000 in Procter & Gamble stock. Only when she got ready to retire, it went down to $250,000 in value.
Oh.
And so because she had it all in one company, she had, that lack of spread around, that lack of diversification made her vulnerable. And that's the only thing that scares me here. I don't think there's anything to panic about. But if you could get out of like half of this and still keep your bonuses when the next time comes around, I would, just because of safety.
Yes. And that would be my plan. If I keep $250,000, I do keep that bonus, which pays me like $3,500 a month.
Yeah, well then do it. Yeah, that's a great return, and it's worth some risk, But I'd get out of that. What do you owe on the house again?
I owe probably about $110.
Okay, so pay that off this year.
Yes, I do have one other thing. You're gonna probably fall off your chair because I told you I'm turning 60. I still owe $45,000 in student loan.
Okay, that would be you would be like a normal dentist. Warning to you, young dentists. Okay, you're talking to a 60-year-old who's still got her student loan debt. So
I know, but I was 39 when I got out of dental school, so I was old when I got out.
Okay, so here's the deal. What do you want to enter into when you're 70? I think if I were you, I would want to enter into zero debt, including my house, and not so much tied up in the dental practice.
Right.
And that's it.
Do you have a plan for retirement, Susan? Do you have an age you're shooting for?
Yeah, right now I want to just cut back to 3 days a week soon, maybe go to 2 days a week by 65.
Okay.
I don't know what I would do with myself if I wasn't.
Well, because I was going to say, but you can do. I mean, you threw out 70. I don't know why specifically.
I was just saying 10 years from now.
But in 5 years, you could have.
Oh, you need to be there sooner than that.
Yeah.
But you need to get the house paid off and get the student loan paid off as soon as possible.
I plan to do that because I have a condo that is up for sale right now, and it has a lot of equity in it.
Okay, then that'll knock everything out, and then let's get out. Let's get out of that. Let's have a plan to not be in this stock at all when you hit final retirement, but not be in it as heavy within a couple of years if you can move out of it. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes, that makes absolute sense.
Yeah. And so then you're sitting on, you're going to be sitting on $1 million in mutual funds at that point, and you're going to be sitting on $1 million worth of, or close to $1 million worth of real estate in 4 or 5 years, and you've got this fabulous income. So yeah, you've just done a great job, kiddo. Well done.
Oh, thank you. I just didn't feel like I've been doing a very good job at all.
Well, all you needed was, I think all you needed is some of the rough edges polished off.
Yeah.
So the two debt things are sloppy, and the heavy weight on the stock is scary.
Yes.
That's all.
Yeah. Okay.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling. Honored to have you as a new
It's so funny
listener.
how much is just perspective. Because when you're sitting in it and she's like, I'm overwhelmed. I have all these things. And I feel like, oh, gosh, I still have them. And you look at the big picture when you're out of it to be like, well, no, here's the puzzle pieces. And it's pretty simple. So the perspective of money, that's what's helpful to always have someone else in your life to kind of speak into it.
I'm intimidated about my teeth, and she's intimidated about her money. So that's kind of normal,
When's the last time you've been to a dentist, Dave?
Just the other day. This is the Ramsey Show.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
#1 best-selling author, Ramsey personality. My daughter is my co-host today at Open Phones, 888-825-5225. Every time you hear someone do their debt-free scream on the show, it's because at some point they said, enough! I'm not living like this anymore. I've had it! When you get mad like that, and that's what they did, your life will change. Right now, inflation, stupid credit cards, gas prices, it's killing you. Student loans been around so long you think it's a pet. and you start to believe you're not in control of your money. Well, you are. You're wrong. You have control of your money. There's a lot you can do. There's some things you can't control, but you can control the controllables in any situation, and we can show you how. You can change your future. Financial Peace University, the proven step-by-step plan. Nearly 10 million people have been through this course, learning how to get out of debt, become masters at budgeting, building wealth, and outrageously generous. And you can learn every bit of that, and we can show you how to become baby steps millionaires. Stop letting debt, money stress, freak out. I don't know how to do math, whatever your excuse is. Finally, you got to stop and go, enough. Enough. I'm tired. I work too hard. I make too much money to be this broke. RamseySolutions.com/enough. And you can start Financial Peace University right now. RamseySolutions.com/enough. We will show you how to fix this. All right, let's look at Blinds.com. They're our question of the day. Find out for yourself why they're the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best possible deal.
And today's question comes from Jimmy in Kentucky. My wife and I are on baby step 3 and would love to buy a home, but we're nowhere near able to put down money on a house. We are concerned that the market will continue to increase before we can get a down payment saved up. Can we use my VA loan to take advantage of the 0% down payment to get into a house sooner and refinance in 3 to 5 years? Jimmy, I'm going to say no. I mean, VA loans, it's not a great option. I mean, there's so much with the fees, everything that is in that. It makes it a difficult mortgage. And
between FHA, VA, and conventional, it's the most expensive. Unless you are disabled. If you're a fully disabled veteran, then they waive a lot of the fees and stuff. But it's not a good deal for you. And basically what you're doing is you're trying to find a way to game the system. You know, you want to scam the system, and the system isn't broke, and it means delayed pleasure. And yes, house prices are going to continue to go up. They're not going to continue to go up like they have been. The market has slowed down substantially. We anticipate real estate prices in the year 2022 to go up about 7%. Next year, 23, which is when you would be buying a house, or 24, they're going to go up 4 to 5% a year. That is not going to price you out of the market, Jimmy. What will price you out of the market is doing it dumb and moving into something when you're broke and you have no down payment and you're not ready to buy. You're going to get in a problem. You're going to create friction here in your life. It's not going to be fun, and you're going to turn. We want you to have a house. We don't want the house to have you.
Yeah, and that's what ends up happening so much. We talked about it on the show yesterday with George, that your home, it's such an emotional thing, right? It's like where your family is. It's where you sleep at night. It's where you do your meals. I mean, like it's such an emotional part of your life. And so many people rush into that. So it's an emotional part of your life, and it's the most expensive part of your life. It's usually the largest purchase you ever make. And so because of that, it's like people make not wise decisions when it comes to their money with their houses, because they just let their emotions get ahead of them, whether it's fear, whether it's longing for something.
Plus, there's all these stupid people that are around you telling you all the time to buy something. You got to buy a house. 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 You can't be a renter. You got to buy a house. Everybody, oh God, you're going to get priced out. Okay. And what is your beautician, an economist? The lady doing your nails is not an economist. Oh my God. So stop listening to these broke people with their craziness, because I've heard that for 30 years.
Yeah.
For 30 years, I've heard I'm going to get priced out of the market. And I can tell you, real estate's considerably more expensive than when I started this show 30 years ago. but and it'll be more expensive 30 years from now when you're still doing the show. So, but the, God willing, the creek don't rise. But oh my gosh. But there's a lot of outside pressure, family members and everybody else. Oh, you haven't bought a house yet? Well, you've been married 26 seconds and you haven't bought a house? Oh my God. And there's all this craziness out there.
Well, that, and then on top of all the emotion of just the recent.
Yeah.
Real estate. I mean, all of it, right? So it's I don't know. There's a lot going on.
2020 was one of the highest increases in house prices in history.
Yeah.
Of all time. I mean, in modern history. And 29% it went up. Oh my, that's unbelievable. Yeah. Unprecedented, as they say in the COVID language. But yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's just crazy. And so it scares the crud out of you. But that's not going to be what happens going forward. It's also not going to crash. For those of you waiting on the prices to go down.
Well, let's talk about this because there's been so much, I feel like even in the recent probably like week or two about the real estate market, because I read an article this morning, the 7 cities where it continues to increase substantially, right? So so I read that. And then there are places though that you're seeing prices
go down.
And so the important thing there is to remember that still sellers, some of them are still in the mindset of, I can make so much.
They're still looking for a sucker coming from another city.
So when you're seeing those prices, I just want to know your thoughts on it. Is it going back to just true home value of what the house is really worth versus the inflated prices?
Yeah.
And so when do you know what your house is valued at? Like a true value after all the craziness of it going up so fast? Is it that you can you still run comps? Do you know what I mean?
Because going up so fast is a reality. Okay, so the definition of market value for real estate, when I was in appraisal class 1,000 years ago, is still in college, is still the definition. And every real estate test you ever take to get your real estate license is when a willing buyer meets a willing seller and neither are under duress. Okay?
Webster. I'm going to call you Webster.
Well, I mean, so here's the deal. So you have a buyer and a seller, and neither one of them are freaking out. Okay. The seller is not motivated by a divorce or a bankruptcy or something else. Okay. The buyer is not over motivated because the last 3 houses they put offers in they didn't get. And so the marketplace is so white hot that the buyer is under duress. And so some of these buyers were paying above market value, but their purchase does not enter into an appraisal. That property is not an actual indicator of value.
Okay.
Because one of the parties was under duress.
Yes.
You can't use a foreclosure on your street does not affect the value of your house because one of the parties was under duress.
Okay.
So that's not a value, that's a price.
How people out there that are wanting to buy or sell, like, how do you run comps now? Because I'm like, usually you just run comps of the house around.
You run comps, and if one of them sticks up and shows...
But they all are going to stick up, right?
Maybe. I mean, if everybody was a white-hot buyer in the whole area, then the value probably has gone up.
Yeah.
Because the marketplace was in duress.
Right,
in that sense.
right.
But if you got some one-offs, like, we talked about during the thing, I live in a neighborhood where, like almost all the houses that sold it's a nice neighborhood, sold recently were California people moving in with California equity, and the Tennessee people are sitting there going, I got a sucker on the hook here.
Yeah.
They're going to way overpay because they can't get a house. There's a shortage, and so they're overpaying substantially overvalue. And so enough of that happens, then other people get greedy and they're like, well, I didn't really want to sell my house, but if I could sell it for that, I'd sell it.
Yeah, 100%.
What the heck? And one of the guys I was playing golf with, we talked about that during the streaming thing that we're doing. He goes, I put mine on the market, I put an extra $200,000 on it looking for one of those California suckerfish. I'm going to hook me one, and it didn't sell.
Yeah.
And he said, I haven't been able to hook one, so the market has calmed down.
Yeah.
The market has calmed down, and the migration from California or New York or wherever into these other markets, southeastern markets primarily, is slowed down.
Yep.
But we've had 1 million plus people displaced from just California and New York.
Yep.
Just those 2 states moved out into other markets, and it adversely affects what is a real value.
Yeah,
but
so that's
real
what's hard.
value should be based on a calm, reasonable, wise transaction by both parties.
Yes.
And even that goes up 3 to 5% a year.
Yep. It's good.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author. My daughter is my co-host today. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Ryan and Ashley are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
How's it going, Dave?
We're hot and sweaty. How are you?
Where do you guys live?
Tennessee.
We're from San Diego, California.
Oh, yeah, you're not used to this humidity.
Not at all.
Yeah, you can cut Tennessee humidity with a knife in August. So, welcome. We're glad to have you guys.
Thank you.
So, all the way to Nashville from the land of California to do a debt-free scream. How much did you pay off?
As of this Monday, we paid off $476,730.53.
Way to go!
Thank you.
How long did this take?
4.5 years.
All right. And what was your range of income during that time?
We started at around $250, and then after a couple salary increases and 2 recent promotions, we're now at $345,000.
Wow, great incomes. What do y'all do for a living?
We're both in federal law enforcement.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
excellent.
Amazing.
Cool.
Thank you for that.
Way up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for federal for doing that. That's amazing. So 477 San Diego. Was that the house?
It was the house.
It was the house.
Oh!
Yep.
Yes.
Wow! You're weirdos.
We are. Yep.
Way to go, weirdos.
Thank
I love
you.
it. Congratulations. Man, you're young too. How old are you two?
So our birthdays are actually tomorrow, but I'm still 40.
And I'm 38.
Okay. All right. Excellent, guys. Well done. Very well done. All right. Tell us about this journey. What happened? How'd you get connected to the Ramsey way?
Yeah, so about 6 years ago, my mom bought me the book Retire Inspired.
Mm-hmm.
At that point in my career, I thought, I read the first chapter and I just thought, I'm too young for this. It doesn't apply to me. So I put the book in a linen closet for maybe 2 years before it was donated to the Goodwill.
That's how that works?
Yes. Fast forward to 4.5 years ago, our twin boys were just babies. Ryan and I started thinking about, okay, what's the earliest time we can retire and how can we have the type of retirement that we want? So he started doing some research and came across the same book. He ordered Retire Inspired, which connected us to you guys. We
sold you 2 of those books.
Yes.
We sold your mom.
Yes,
Sold your mom one and sold you another one.
Yes.
Okay.
So
That's the Goodwill track. I like this. Okay.
Yeah. So we both started listening to you and we were hooked. It was hustle and grind after that. We got second jobs. We sold a paid for truck. We sold anything and everything in the house that we didn't need anymore. Recycled cans, rolled our coins. We would go to the bank sometimes to make $7.50 principal payments, and we would go multiple times per week. Any and every extra dollar we had went toward principal reduction.
Wow.
Yeah.
Way to go.
So,
Yeah.
Y'all are focused.
You were game
Yes.
on.
Intense.
So when you
Super intense.
started, how long did your math tell you it was going to take?
I think
Next year.
Yeah, or December of this year may have been the soonest we ever thought we could do it. But just as we kept the momentum going, like we would have daily discussions. How can we be more intense? What else can we do? Just coming up with ideas all the time. We would talk every day about it.
That sounds more like you turned it into a game.
Yeah, I mean, we're just very type A.
A game of sacrifice, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But we were willing to do that, just to be done with it so we can move on and do all the things we want to do next. Yeah. So,
I mean, to have a paid for house in California, specifically San Diego. I mean, that's unbelievable, you guys.
Yeah, we like to say the math works in California as well.
There you go. I like
So
it.
it does.
Yeah.
So how much is it? How much is this house worth?
Currently, it's approximately $1.1 million.
So that alone, before we get to your retirement, makes you a baby step millionaire.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
And 40 years old, you did it.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. Congratulations, you guys.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
How does it feel to be completely completely free.
I mean, for me, it hasn't set in yet because it was literally 4 days ago that we paid off the house. It was our final payment. We got pictures at Chase Bank, and it hasn't set in yet. So because we haven't had a paycheck yet since.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think once this first paycheck drops next week, it's going to be, the grass is going to be greener for sure.
Can't wait.
What were those people at Chase Bank doing? You're taking pictures.
Well, they knew us by name because, like
You're in there all the time.
Because like I said, we were there multiple times per week, so we had like our favorite tellers and all that stuff we would go to. The kids would come along every time we made a principal payment, get lollipops, all that jazz. So yeah, I mean, I think, of course they were encouraging and said congratulations and all that, but I don't think it was a surprise.
Well, and I think they think, here's the weird people.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what I figured you would get. Oh my gosh, because you are weird. That's awesome.
Yep.
Yes.
It's such a good way. Normal's broke and you're not.
Yep.
No, we aren't.
Wow.
Okay, so it did take a ton of sacrifice, and there's a lot of people listening right now that have little kids, because I see yours right here in the lobby, and they're like, oh, it's not worth it. Like, we just want to enjoy life, and it's our house, right? Like, oh, it's fine. 30 years, it'll happen. So what do you say to encourage people that even with a young family, that the sacrifice, I know is difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell you for me with the little boys, like at least not going out to dinner was easy, because when we did try to go out to dinner, it was brutal.
Miserable.
It was brutal. We'd
I'm
have
not
to,
thinking that's going to change.
we'd have to shove our food in, in 20 minutes. We couldn't enjoy our $80
So true.
dinner or whatever it was. So we just flat out stopped going to dinner. And if we did go out to dinner, it would be In-N-Out Burger, something real easy.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and the kids came along this journey with us. They were out there recycling cans with us. Anytime they would pick up extra coins or whatever, they'd be like, this is for debt free.
Oh.
So they were totally on board, and they supported us as well. Like they were, part of this process too. So I just think, sacrificing now so you can win for the long term is totally where it's at. And we, the why for us was bigger than, not being able to go out to dinner or whatever for this 4.5 years. It was worth doing.
Yeah.
Temporary pain, long-term gain.
Yes.
Live like no one else,
For
so
sure.
later you can live and give like no
Right.
one else.
Yes, sir.
Wow, very cool.
Amazing job, you guys.
Thank you.
Well done.
Well, we're proud of you guys. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
We think the key is also the hardest part. Self-discipline, self-control, perseverance, and contentment. Not only did we learn that those were things, needed for financial success, they're also foundational for being just a better person and winning at life. We want to set our kids up to win. There are not going to be any participation trophies in our house. We're going to set them up for success in any way that we can. So.
Well, in law enforcement, you run into people that have none of those things on that list.
Correct.
Yeah. No self-control, no discipline, no perseverance, no long-term thinking.
Correct.
And all of that results in you being involved in their lives.
Yes.
Right. Unfortunately, yes. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. So $350,000 income, not a payment in the world, $1 million plus house paid for.
Right.
What's the first big thing y'all want to do?
Oh, man.
We really want to try flying somewhere first class, I think is what we want to do first.
That's one of the goals, yeah. We'd like to travel first class, take our kids on awesome adventures, but we also want to give big. We have our twin boys who we had to do IVF to get pregnant with them. So, that process is stressful enough. So we'd like to take at least the financial stress away from someone else and to pay for someone else to have IVF.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, bring the kiddos up. We've got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. You are one. And also a 1-year membership to Financial Peace University. You can give that away or go through it. Also a copy of Total Money Makeover for you to give away and help someone. So what are the names and ages of the kiddos?
So this is our sweet girl, Haley. She's 8. These are our twin boys, Jameson and Jax, and they are 5.
I love it.
So
Good-looking
sweet.
family.
Thank you.
You guys are great. We're so proud of you guys, heroes. Well done. All right, Ryan and Ashley, Haley, Jameson, and Jax, San Diego, paid for $1.2 million house. Everything everything. $479 paid off. Man, count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3,
2, 1.
We're debt-free! Haley wins. Way to go, Haley.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Yeah!
Precious.
Ah, life is good. This is the Ramsey Show. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Holly's in Lexington, Kentucky. Hey, Holly, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave and Rachel. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So my husband and I just got married about a month ago, and we have in total $140,000 in student loan debt. We created this plan that we're really excited about. It is kind of drastic, though, and my mom is just really worried that we're working too much and we're not spending enough time to really cherish their first year of marriage. So, yeah, I don't know. It kind of made us second guess our plan and feel like we'll regret it one day, working too much our first year. So yeah.
What's the plan, Holly? What are the hours? How fast will you pay this off? Kind of like give me the rundown.
Yeah, so I'm a nurse, and I just quit my regular nursing job and switched to a local travel nursing job, and it quadrupled my pay. So I'm making about $10,000 a month after taxes with that. And then I'm also in nurse practitioning school, and so I'm in clinical like 2 days a week, 8 hours a day. And then I'm also teaching so that my school's free. So I'll be working around like 70 hours a week. And my husband's a physical therapist, and he brings in about $4,000 a month after taxes. And our plan is to pay off $10,000 a month. So my mom's just really scared that we're taking on too much too soon. I was wondering what you all thought.
What do you think, Holly?
I feel like I feel fine, really. I don't know. And I've talked to some of my friends, and they think we're taking on too much too soon. But like, I feel like with nursing right now, like I want to, like this money may not be around next year. So I really want to take advantage of it now. Yeah. So.
How old are you?
26.
26. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like we could get this paid off in like a year. It maybe like a year and a couple months.
And is your husband, is he on board? Would you say you guys together? You said you're both like excited about this plan. You both know what's going to take, and you both feel great about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Holly. I mean, I think you're fine. I think you're fine.
Yeah.
And I think the emotional tie to your mom, and her approval, is big in your life, and it would be for most adult children who have a good relationship with their parents. They want their parents to approve and be happy and proud of what they're doing. So I understand a little bit of the hesitation, but let me tell you, marriage is more stressful when you're living paycheck to paycheck and deeply in debt. It's less stressful when you sacrifice for a short period of time and the financial part of your marriage is just cleaned up, the debt, and you guys have learned to be on the same page, work together as a team, do the impossible together. Mm-hmm. It's going to, I think it actually strengthens your marriage if you guys are intentional about the time when you're together, then that's important, obviously.
Okay, let's pretend something, okay? Let's say you get 5 months into this, and it is having a negative effect on you.
Yeah.
Quit.
Yeah, that's true. I could just do that, yeah.
You're not signing up with the military. It's a job.
Right.
Nobody said that you have to keep doing it. And so if you start melting down in your relationship or in your mental health, or you're not taking good care of yourself physically, you're not getting enough sleep or something silly like that, quit.
Right.
And do three 12s and do your school.
Mm-hmm.
That would be half of what you're talking about, roughly.
Right.
And how many hours is your husband planning to work?
He does like traditional 40.
Okay. And he's got the ability to pick up with PT too.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Because you're not going to be there. He might as well be working in the emergency room. It's good money.
Yeah.
You guys both have the ability to have great side hustles.
Right.
Okay. Now, again, if it reaches the point that you guys are feeling the strain, but this idea that somehow there's that you're going to have a weaker marriage because you work together towards a goal with great intensity, no, it'd be quite the opposite. You'll have a stronger marriage.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. It's, think about families in the military where one of them is deployed 4 months after they're married.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of people out there that prosper relationally in kind of extreme circumstances. Now, again, I don't want you to, I'll be on your mom's team, your friend's team, and that I wouldn't tell you to do something that permanently damages your relationship. Okay? But
Right.
Some of our richest times are when we were scratching and clawing, hustling, grinding, pushing through, and then we ring the bell together.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of fun,
Right.
But
yeah, we just paid off our first loan last week. Is my last paycheck.
Yeah.
So
Feels really
it was
good.
exciting.
Yeah,
But
Holly, too,
at the point you think you're going to pass out or something, quit.
Yeah.
Just quit.
And Holly, if this was going to be like a 5-year thing, I'd be like, okay, let's look how to pace ourselves. But if you're talking 12 months, and man,
it's a sprint.
Yeah.
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 And
This didn't seem
I think the
possible
benefits are and again, I don't think that it has to, by definition, destroy your first year of marriage. That's silly. Okay?
Yeah.
But and quite the contrary, it could set the tone for we can lock arms and battle anything together. Because this is what we did. This was our first order of business out of the gate as soon as we're married is attack something together. There's a real benefit to that in knitting you together for future mountains that you have to climb. And you will have to climb future mountains. You can count on it. So, that's but the good news is you can try this. And if it starts having an adverse effect, if your mom's fears come true, then you just shut her down and go pick up a standard nursing job, 372s, right? Or 72, 312s. 36,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 36 hours. Yeah, so those are everywhere. There's a nursing shortage. So, and at the end of the day, it sounds like your mom and you have a good relationship and she's voicing this gently. If she begins to violate a boundary, you've got to just remember, you're now married. She doesn't ultimately have a vote. Only you and your husband have a vote.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And your friends don't have a vote.
Right.
And so,
and Holly, too, you're going to look weird.
Yeah,
too.
you are weird.
That's part of a little bit of this plan. And, we just had a debt-free scream of a family with 3 little kids for 4.5 years, picked up coins on the side of the road they would find and roll them and take them to the bank. It's kind of extreme stuff because the truth is, it is extreme. If you want to get out of $140,000 of student loan debt and do it in an intense period of time for a short period of time and attack it, it's going to look weird to the average 26, 28-year-old who's like, no, I'm going to keep my student loans around and just
and I'm going
pay
out
my
to eat
payments.
every night. And
I'm going
to
on vacation.
I'm going to Cancun doing all inclusive.
Holly, you got to enjoy your life. Holly, you're just doing too much. Holly.
YOLO,
You know what I mean?
you only live once.
I feel that's so much of our generation, and so there is a level of sacrifice that the culture is not comfortable with because it's not normal. So again, if it starts to wear down, yes, I totally echo what Dave said, right? If it starts to damage you personally in your marriage, all of that, yeah. That stuff is way more important to hold true than getting out of debt necessarily. So there's a balance there, but also people are gonna make fun of you. They're gonna look at you like you have a third eye, and they're like, oh, she's a little, man, Holly's a little intense. So they may say that about you, Holly, but it's not always a bad thing. Normal's broke. Be weird.
You know,
that's like our tried and true. Just like,
well, embrace this life. There's stuff to be had. I mean, what are you going if you work 40 hours a week and are you going to sit and watch Netflix? I mean, really, I don't, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with working 40 hours a week, but it's not like mandatory for happiness. That's ridiculous. So, are mandatory to have good relationships and so on. So it's good. It's a good discussion. The good news is you don't have to choose bad relationships and get out of debt. No, you don't have to do that. If you start having a bad relationship, just cut her back. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books.
Hey, it's Rachel Cruz, co-host on The Ramsey Show. If you want to do your debt-free scream live on the show, visit RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream. We'd love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story. That's RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream.
From the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author. My daughter is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Maria is in Des Moines, Iowa. Hi, Maria. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave and Rachel. So excited to talk to you guys today.
Good to talk to you. How can we help?
I have a question on behalf of my mom and grandparents today, but I just want to start off and just thank you for your program. Because of it, we eliminated all of our debt, cash flowed my husband's school. We're ready for baby step 4, 5, 6, and we would literally be in hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt if it wasn't for you. So I just wanted to say thank you first and foremost.
Well, you did it, hero. I'm proud of you.
That's amazing, Maria. That's amazing.
Thank you. My question, though, isn't as fun of a story, but so my question's for my mom and my grandparents. Over the last year, my grandparents moved to downsize and eliminate debt. And eliminate their mortgage. They did that due to financial reasons and also due to health reasons with my grandpa. But in the last about 4 months, my grandma was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and she didn't do so well with chemo, so now she's on hospice care at home.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So anyway, due to being sick, she was still working up to that point, but now she obviously isn't able to. So my mom has stepped in and has really been helping take care of them, and she's also working my grandma's business. She was a self-employed independent contractor, so she's been working that business to help them pay their bills. But unfortunately, doing that is actually taking a toll on my mom's financial situation as well. But since she's been more involved, some information has come to light. We found out that my grandma might have a spending problem, and after the move, she took out 50 more credit cards and maxed them all out.
Oh my gosh.
And it gets worse, unfortunately. And it's come to light that she's never paid her taxes. I'm being told never, ever. I've been told she paid some state because she was forced to, but that she hasn't paid federal taxes. So my concern is the plan was once my grandma passes, which is inevitable, was that my mom was going to move in with my grandpa and take care of him and continue to work my grandma's business. But there's just some concerns on if there's any risks with doing that due to that tax issue. And then also, what risks will my grandpa have or my grandma currently due to unpaid taxes? And they're like in their mid-70s, so, it's been at least 30 years.
I'm so sorry. What a mess.
Yeah, it's really scary.
Okay. The scary answer is that not paying federal income taxes is a criminal offense. Mm-hmm. If you Google how many people went to jail last year for not paying federal income taxes, you'll always find a number between 2,500 and 5,000 every year that they put people in jail for this. It's a criminal offense. Mm-hmm. It's not optional. It's not like I just get to decide this. Okay? Now, are they going to put a 70-year-old cancer patient in hospice in jail? No. Mm-hmm. No, they couldn't be efficient enough to get around to it by then. Okay? But is this going to come to roost on her estate? Oh, very probably. Mm-hmm. But it sounds like her estate is broke.
It is.
Okay.
Their current home is paid for, but other than that, there's nothing.
Yeah, but if and when the IRS finds this, they'll place liens on that house, and it will have no value.
Would they kick my grandpa out?
Sure.
If he was still...
Absolutely.
Okay.
They'll take the house. And they might prosecute him.
Well, that's my concern.
It's possible. Is he working at all?
No, he's retired.
What is the business?
Health issues. They are independent contractors for a trucking company, so they help run freight. Like line up the trucks and move the orders and that sort of thing.
They do. They're running distribution. They're running logistics.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he can't work. He's physically, visually unable to. He used to drive truck, but he doesn't obviously anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of ways to go at this. Okay. You can go and come out of the cold. If you're out there and you haven't paid your taxes, you don't have to go to jail. You can go see a CPA and file 3 years of back returns and come in out of the cold, and they will work with you. And they don't send people to jail that they do that. The ones that go to jail are people that continue to hide, and they have to chase them down. Okay? Mm-hmm. So, do we do that with a 75-year-old, though? I don't know. Okay? I don't know, realistically. You're probably not going to get these people to do what they should do. But I'll tell you what should happen if I woke up in their shoes, okay?
The grandparents' shoes.
Yeah. I would sell the house today and get my money out of it and put the money in some, in a lockbox or something where the IRS can't find it, okay? Because they're going to take this house if they find him. You follow me?
Will her death, obviously the IRS knows when people die.
No, they don't bother you with that.
Okay.
There's not anything that's there. And she's not got any money.
No.
And the problem is she owns half this house and all this credit card debt's out there. So I'm probably going to end up using this money to try to settle some of that, I guess. I don't know. Oh, God.
When she died...
And the other thing is shut the business down.
Okay. So would it be bad for my mom to continue?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Shut the business down. Just a minute. Shut the business down and reopen it in another LLC that your mom owns.
She was going to transfer the accounts to her own name.
No, don't transfer anything.
Okay.
Don't transfer anything. Let the clients know that she's going to be operating under a new name, and she opens her own business that is independent of this disaster.
Okay.
And then she can continue to run her business, formerly your grandmother's business, without any tax liability. And she needs to pay her freaking taxes.
Yeah, my mom will.
Okay.
When the grandmother passes.
Yeah.
Does that not just it's...
The taxes will evaporate. Yeah. But she owns half that house.
But if he...
And he hadn't paid taxes either.
Has he paid taxes, Maria, or just her?
I'm going to guess. I'm going to say both of them.
They're both off the grid. They've been running independent contractor and putting it in their pocket for years. And the problem is, and so your grandpa could go to see a CPA and file 3 years of back taxes and try to keep them off of him. And they'll let him go for the rest of it and let her go for the rest of it because she's not even, it's going to be in her estate. And then you got to try to clean. If you get that done, you might keep the house and try to clean up the credit card debt in order to keep the house, because the credit cards are going to come after mom's half of the house.
Right, with the estate,
and they should. Oh.
I'm sorry, Maria.
Doesn't sound like this is going to turn out well, but your mom's got the best course of action, which is shut down today and reopen tomorrow in a new name, and then reset those relationships and take off that way. Oh, wow. Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. With the rising cost of everything, a lot of folks are worried about having enough money to get through the month. The good news is no matter where you are with money, no matter the state of the economy, you can get on a path to building wealth. At our Building Wealth Live events, you learn a simple, common sense principles to build real wealth in any situation. This Building Wealth tour is blowing up. We've already sold out 2 nights, and the rest of these events are on track to sell out, just any minute. So if you're thinking about joining us, don't wait. We sold out the Phoenix event on September the 13th, and we opened up the 12th, and it's getting close to sold out. Sacramento, November the 1st, sold out. Minneapolis, November 10th, just a few seats. In San Antonio, just a handful, November 15th. Passes start as low as $25. You can get a 4-pack starting at $60. It's most of the Ramsey personalities will be there. Rachel Cruz, George Camel, me, John Deloney, Dr. John Deloney, and Ken Coleman will all be there. We'll be talking and having a panel discussion. It's going to be a blast. You want to come out to this. You're going to learn a lot. The people in the other cities at the sold-out events have had a great job. These are 4,000 person venues, and every one of them so far has been a complete sellout. We will not be opening up other nights in these other cities, even if they sell out or when they sell out, because we don't have venue availability. But Phoenix, we could get a venue, so we added that extra night at Phoenix. And again, it's almost gone already. So thank you guys. We appreciate you, Phoenix. You're red hot out there for Ramsey stuff. We appreciate you. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Evan's in Pittsburgh. Hi, Evan. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave and Rachel. How are you?
Great. How can we help?
So I have a retirement question. My company's structure has certain employees falling into the highly compensated employee category where we're limited on our 401k.
Yeah, because the other folks are not contributing at a high enough rate.
Exactly, yes. Yeah. So we're trying to figure out the best way to get to that 15% mark. What I'm able to contribute really only gets us 2.5% of the 15. If my wife uses her company's match, that gets us another 5 or 6% total. And so we're stuck on the remaining 10 or so percent if we should be over contributing into her 401k for like tax incentive now, or if we should just go.
I'm sorry, it's not over contributing. It's just contributing more than the match.
Well, yeah, more than the match, but I wasn't sure if it made more sense to have the money in her company's 401k versus an individual retirement account, because our total income bars us from the traditional Roth option as well.
Now you can do backdoor Roths.
Okay.
A backdoor Roth is where you open an after-tax IRA and you roll it to a Roth instantaneously. I do them every year.
Understood. Yeah. So with the backdoor Roth, should we be doing that prior to baby step 7?
Yeah, that can be part of
the 15%.
Getting to your 15%.
Yeah. What's your household income?
It ranges between $300 and $350 based on commission.
Okay, so you need 45,000 going in. You can put 19,000 in or 20,000 in your wife's 401.
Yeah.
And you can, put all you're allowed to in. How big is the company you work for?
It's extremely large. It's a staffing firm, so the issue is the temporary employment population is what has our total population
non-contributors. Yeah, okay. None of them
exactly.
participate in the 401k, and so those of you that make money can't. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I would do all you can do, all she can do, and do 2 Roth IRAs, and if that doesn't get you there, then you can do some mutual funds that are not retirement at all, but they're just additional until you get to 15%. You need 45,000 going in. If you make 300k, that's 15%.
Yep.
But I mean,
so
20
we're
and your 2.5 or 3 would amount to how much money?
9,000. So I'm legally.
That gets you to 30. You can get there. You can get to 45 then.
Okay.
Or really close. I mean, you're going to get real close with 2 Roths, and you max out and she maxes out. That gets you to 15, and that's not got anything to do with that's just baby step 4.
Okay. So I guess the actual question was, did it make sense to be triggering the extra tax bill for the backdoor Roth versus just going into a traditional retirement account?
You're going to do them all. You don't have a choice.
Okay. Understood.
Yeah. And it doesn't trigger taxes. It just makes that is taxable income is all. You always want to do Roth as opposed to traditional because most of what is going to be in your account when you get to retirement will not be what you have put in. It will be growth. And that growth being tax-free under a Roth heading is the best way by far. So if you both have Roth options on your 401k, you should be doing that. And regardless of the current tax situation, the long-term implications are huge compared to the local or compared to this year's tax situation. So, yeah. You do Roth. The first thing you do is match. The next thing you do is Roth all you can. And the next thing you can do, if you run out of Roth and can't do anything else, then you would do traditional. In your case, if she has Roth available, she maxes it out, 401. If you have Roth available, you max it out in your 401, and you do 2 Roth backdoors, and you're there. Sit down with one of our SmartVestor pros that we recommend. They can help you plan right through that. It's really not that difficult to do, and they can walk you through. You'll be able to get your arms around it really, really fast, and they can even run the math out and show you why what I'm talking about is true. Because, folks, here's the thing: if you get to retirement, Rachel, and you got like $1 million in your 401k, okay, if it's a Roth, it's 100% tax-free. If it's not, it's 100% taxable. And so you're going to have $250,000, $300,000 in taxes out of that.
Yeah.
And so, and the point is that the growth that is in your account, if you start, anytime before 50 years old, the growth that is in your account, or what is in your account, is 90 to 95% growth. The rest of it is what you put in. So these little bitty seeds that you plant grow to big trees.
Yeah.
And the trees need to be tax-free.
That's right. And with the Roth, you're paying with after-tax dollars.
Right. You're contributing with after-tax dollars, and then it is growing tax-free. With the traditional, you're putting in pre-tax, so it's taxable when you take it out, and all the growth is taxable.
Yeah.
And so, but the deal is the pre-tax dollars on the Roth are only going to end up, your contribution portion is only going to end up being 5 or 10% of what is in the account later.
Yep.
And so it's huge numbers on the growth that are taxable or not taxable, depending on whether you chose Roth.
Besides just being ignorant or not knowing, what would cause someone to do a traditional? Well,
because what they forget is what they're doing is they're majoring on what he was doing there, and it's a common thing. He's saying, if I put $25,000, or in his case $30,000, in these 2 accounts at work, I don't have to pay taxes on that today.
Yeah.
If it's traditional, that goes in without taxes.
Yeah.
And so otherwise I have to pay taxes on it. And so what are taxes on $30,000 in his situation? $10,000. And so you're paying taxes out of your pocket for $10K. So here's the odd thing: it's not even an apples to apples. Okay, so here's the deal. If he puts in $30,000 and it's all Roth, he has to put in another $10,000 out of his pocket, and then that allows it to grow tax free. So in essence, he's put in 40.
Mm-hmm.
because by paying his taxes now.
Right.
And so it's not so you're comparing a $40,000 investment to a $30,000 investment. So it's not even an apples to apples comparison. But if you said, okay, I'm going to put in 30 minus the taxes because it's Roth, that would be apples to apples.
Yes.
And then when you run it out, it ends up being exactly equal. But the way I'm doing it tricks you into investing more. You see what I'm doing?
Putting more money in it.
Yeah, you're actually putting more money into the program this way because you're paying your taxes now on the Roth money.
Yeah.
And so, gotcha. But, but sometimes the little idiots on Reddit that criticize me and all that, they think I can't do the math because they're comparing 30 against 30. But that's not really the way real people do it in the real world.
Right.
In the real world, I've actually tricked you into investing an extra 10 in that case.
Not realizing it.
This is The Ramsey Show. Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today on the Debt-Free Stage right here in Ramsey Solutions headquarters in our lobby. Michael and Melissa are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hi, good.
How are you, Dave, Rachel?
Good to have you guys. Welcome. Where do y'all live?
Up north.
Yep.
North Wisconsin.
Yep.
North Wisconsin.
Yeah, a little north of Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful. Well, we're glad to have you guys. How much debt have you paid off?
$600,000.
Oh my gosh.
How long did this take?
3 years and 11 months.
Woo-wee.
Good night.
Rowdy. What was the range of your income during that time?
We started at $200,000 and now we're at $350,000.
Goodness gracious. What do you all do for a living?
I am a nurse practitioner, a travel nurse, and a faculty.
And I'm self-employed. I run a welding fabrication business.
Oh,
Wow.
The same thing as the lady that called earlier. This was newly married. She's doing
That's exactly what
faculty,
she was going to do.
faculty and travel nursing. Yeah.
Can you do it? It's possible.
It can be done.
You're standing there.
Yep. You can live through it, I promise.
So, my goodness, I have no idea. What kind of debt was this $600,000?
It was, unfortunately, we were normal. We had 10 credit cards. We had student loans.
Mm-hmm.
We had 3 car payments. We had a
For 2 people.
Yep. A lawnmower loan. A loan for the dog. Pretty much everything you could get.
Goodness.
And then our land and our house.
So what happened? How'd you get connected up to the Ramsey way?
Well, we just got tired of being sick and tired. I think it really happened after I graduated from grad school with a higher income, but we were still broke. So we just had an I've had it moment. I came home and I told Michael, we're selling the truck, we're selling the SUV, we're selling everything not nailed down. I'm working 100 hours a week. This is what we're going to do.
Wow.
So,
how'd you get connected to us?
A friend said, well, I heard about this guy on the radio. You should give him a listen. So I listened to one show, and then that was it.
Came in and told Michael, our life is changing. What'd you say, Michael? What'd you say?
At first I was like, oh, I don't know. And I think the big thing for me was when we went to the Money in Marriage down in Iowa.
Oh, yeah.
I got to see Rachel, and I was like, I like this. Yep, I can do this.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah,
that's cool. Very well done. So, how much did these trucks and everything sell for?
Well, we broke even on the truck. But
what did it sell for, though?
Like 26.5. 26.5, yeah.
Yep, so 30 there. What about the other one?
Yep, the SUV was 20.
Okay, so that's 50.
Yep.
And then we had a car, which was about 25.
You keep it?
We kept it and paid it off.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And the SUV you sold?
Yep.
You sold the truck. What else did you sell?
We sold, let's see, gosh, I don't know. He sold everything that he could in the shop.
Basically, I did a consolidation of the shop, everything that I thought I had to have.
Yeah.
I just got rid of and just kind of down to the simple, and we made it work.
Yeah. How much did all that bring?
Oh, probably not as much as I thought, but yeah, probably 15,000, 20,000, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the big sale was we sold our house this spring.
Ah.
We got, that 3 years, 11 months. We just said we're tired of being sick and tired. We're going to make a change. So we sold the house, that paid off the land, and now we're renting and cash flowing the development of the lake house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How great.
Okay, so okay, the house is in the 600 then.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
and so how much did it sell for?
It sold for $450.
Yeah,
$450. But that's included in these numbers.
No, but we paid off.
Yeah.
240
of the mortgage.
240
Yeah,
of the
240,
mortgage.
yep.
Yeah,
And then the
mortgage.
rest of it went to the other debts.
Yeah.
Correct.
So really, you got that much credit toward. Okay, so now I can get, because I couldn't get to 600 in 3.5 years, 11 months. Okay, so now I can get there. Okay, my goodness gracious.
Yeah.
I'm glad that, Michael, I'm glad she didn't sell you. She sold everything.
Yep. Everything besides me and the dog.
Yep.
The dog made it.
Yep,
The dog
did
made
make it. Yep.
Way to go, dog. That's good. Wow. Hey,
Oh,
you guys,
man.
that's a pretty intense.
Did people think y'all were crazy? I mean, selling the house,
definitely.
everybody.
They still do.
They still do.
Yep.
And I think
definitely.
especially as a healthcare professional, the culture is to go on nice vacations, have nice cars.
Yeah.
I was one of the only ones driving a beater car, a Dave car, if you will. So just trying to stay strong in that and not succumb to peer pressure was a big one.
Yeah. But now you don't have any payments and you make $350 a year. Mm-hmm. And now you're developing your own lake house with cash.
Exactly.
And you have a paid-for lake house when this is done.
Mm-hmm.
And all of that and the land will be worth how much?
Right around $1 million.
So, you like me now.
Yep. Who's crazy now? Yep.
Who's crazy now? Who's lost their marbles now? I traded a pickup truck and an SUV in my house for a paid-for $1 million lake house. I like it.
Okay, so what was the hardest part? Was it selling the stuff? Was it working the crazy hours? Like, what would you say is the thing that was like, yeah, that was tough?
I think for me, it was all the crazy hours, especially through the pandemic as a nurse working in the ICU. I've worked straight nights for 11 years, so just many sleepless nights was challenging.
Well, and there had to be some fear that went with all that.
Oh,
too.
definitely.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what I'm getting into down here.
Exactly. We actually made our last consumer debt payment April of 2020.
Oh,
Wow.
right in it.
So-
Right in it.
Right, right at the beginning. So that was great.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You look back now, you go, I can do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. And at the time, like when that car leaves or that SUV goes out of the driveway, it's a big deal. But now, a year later, it's like, I can get another car.
Right.
Make $350,000 a year. I can get another car when I want one, and just pay cash for it.
Right.
It's not a big thing. So if you drive like no one else later, you can drive like no one else. Or you can just have a paid-for $1 million lake house.
Yeah, that too.
I like that. That works for me, too. I'll go with that. You guys are awesome.
I think the biggest thing for me was the emotional and mental attachment to things that everybody around you gave that item. You got to have your pickup because you deserve it because you got this business or XYZ.
Yeah.
And for me, it was the disattachment of those material things to free you up so you're not a slave to a lender.
Yeah.
And you have that ultimate freedom.
That's very minimalist of him.
Yeah, but that's a great point, though, that you make, because I'm like, it is the culture that has set this standard of living of like, no, you should have X, Y, and Z. This is what it should be.
You deserve to be deeply in debt.
And when
That's what they're telling you
like, detach from just the norm of the culture, you're like, okay, I'm going to just have this complete mindset shift, which is what happened. Okay, what happened within your marriage? Because you guys went to money marriage, which I'm so glad. But what during this process, I mean, was it just incredible? Like where you guys are standing in your marriage today versus 5 years ago, does it feel different?
Oh, huge. When we started the journey, we had been married for 6 years. Now this is our 10-year. You'll probably see a trip to Alaska on there. That was our 10-year anniversary trip. But we're just a completely different couple than we used to be. We were just kind of coexisting, him doing his thing, me doing my thing. You know, what did you spend that on? What did you spend this on? We just each had our cards. Well, we had 10 credit cards, so we each had certain cards, you know. But now we, you know, especially those monthly budget meetings, we call them our dream meetings, which is more what they are. You know, what we're dreaming for and working towards together with a common goal. And especially the last year when I started travel nursing, we really came together, you know, and we're just a completely different couple than we were.
Absolutely. Yep. I'd say the biggest thing for us is the communication. Because before you're constantly, you're married and you're doing back and forth and you're just never on the same page. But when you have your budget meetings month after month and you're making her accountable for things and she's making you accountable for things, then anything's possible.
Yeah.
Because now you take your dollar that you're putting here and it's working for you instead of you're working for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Powerful.
So well said.
Hey, we got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. You're right on your way to being one with a lake house. I like it. And a copy of the Total Money Makeover and year's membership to Financial Peace University. Way to go, guys. Michael and Melissa from Wisconsin, $600,000 paid off, 3 years, 11 months. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! Yeah! This is how it's done, boys and girls. Well done. Rachel Cruz, #1 best-selling author. Ramsey personality, my daughter, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. In Canada is Shaylee. Hi, hey, Shaylee, how are you? Almost called you Canada.
Thanks so much for having us on, and I have my husband John here with me. So we are wondering, we currently have stock investments, and we're wondering if we should pull them out and put them towards our mortgage to more aggressively pay down our mortgage.
Are you debt-free except the house?
Yes, we are.
Okay. How much do you owe on the home?
$760,000.
And how much do you have in stock?
215. So right now, yeah, 215,000.
You have retirement investments aside from this?
We have 170,000 in RSPs.
Okay. And what's your household income?
So currently, I'm on maternity leave as of January this year. I was making about $250,000 to $300,000. I am a pediatrician. I'm on maternity leave. I don't know when I'm going to go back or what it's going to look like in the future. My husband makes about $200,000 a year. So right now, that's our income. It's about $200,000.
Yeah. How old are you?
43, turning 44 on Monday.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, so here's the thing. If you don't use the stock to pay it off, it's the same thing as saying I owe $500,000 on my house, and I went down and I got a new mortgage for $700 to put $200 into stock.
Okay.
So if you had $500,000 owed on your house, would you go get a new mortgage for $700 to put $200 into stock?
Would I do that? I'm not sure. I don't think I would do that.
It's not a trick question.
Okay.
It's just a matter of, because usually when you reverse it like that, it activates and people go, ooh, I wouldn't do that. Usually. I mean, it's not 100%, but I mean, that's the thing. So here's the deal. When we studied 10,167 millionaires and asked them in detail how they became millionaires, what the process that they used was, a very, very, very small percentage, less than 10%, used investing instead of paying off their house. Instead, they usually filled up their retirement accounts and paid off their house. And they didn't have a side stock thing going like this until they paid off their house. It's very unusual statistically to become a millionaire when you're doing it this way. And because in effect you have borrowed on your home to have these investments. In effect, you didn't tactically do that, but in effect that's the net effect of where you are today. Does that make sense?
Yes, and just to give you a little bit more information, so we put the money in before getting the home. It's a bit backwards, but and the money that we put in a few years ago went up to like 250 something, and then it's come down with the economic situation in our world. It's come down, so we've lost maybe like unrealized losses of 40 grand. So our investor is like, don't take the money out now. It's going to be realized losses. But then we're starting to learn, and maybe it's like because of also your steps, like actually we've done it backwards. So should we just pull it out even though it's
from where you are today, the shortest distance based on the data that we have to wealth is not riding the market. It's getting the house paid off. That's the shortest distance based on the data that we have. So if I woke up in your shoes, I would use all of that to decide I'm going to throw this at it. It doesn't pay off the house, but the good news is you've got a $200,000 to a $400,000 income, depending on your decision, to be able to knock out the other $500,000 fairly quickly. And you're young.
Right.
And with no house payment and a great income, the amount of money you can pile up in retirement accounts and or other investments later, But investment advisors have never been known for telling you to become debt-free because it takes the money out from their management. They don't make a commission. They don't make a commission on you anymore.
Right. And then we would use the chunk because we'd have to pay taxes on that money in investments. So we would just take a chunk of that to save for the taxes we'd owe and put the rest on the house.
Exactly. It's not necessarily a tax-efficient move. I would agree with your investment advisor on that. It's not about tax efficiency. It's about, 10 years from today, where do I really want to be? Playing the stock market, or do I want to have this house paid off? And then with the cash flow I've got, be playing the stock market. That's where I would want to be. And as a matter of fact, it's where I've been for decades. I haven't had a house payment in so long, I don't even remember what it's like. Long time.
Well, and there's just the freedom to it, too. So, where an investment professional may look at it and be like, well, it's not tax efficient. You're going to be taking losses. You're going to, all of the math side, which is all true. There is something to be said, though, about, that getting that fast forwarded so fast to pay off the house and have that freedom is huge.
Adam is in Detroit. Hey, Adam, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Rachel.
Hey, what's up?
Thank you so much, Dave, for the Total Money Makeover. Changed my life. I've had it moment. And thank you, Rachel, for helping get my wife on board with your YouTube content. She absolutely loves it. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely.
We're newly married in June. We've had many wins in our baby step 2, recently selling anything that's not bolted to the floor. I just sold my dream car yesterday and paid off $17,000 of credit cards this morning.
Good for you. Wow.
Yep, no more stupid bachelor money decisions so we can start our family. So we're very gazelle intense. I've got a second job on the weekends, pays pretty good, but we're having a struggle staying intense and then also finding time for each other. I'm just looking for a recommendation on how to balance that and find the time and still stay gazelle intense because we still have quite a bit of debt.
Yeah. So how many hours are you guys working?
She's working 60 plus with depending on traffic right now, 4 hours of commuting every day.
Good Lord.
And I'm probably working 80 hours between the two jobs, give or take.
Oh, wow. Yeah, y'all.
What is your commute?
I work from home mostly during the day unless I'm teaching classes in the afternoon at the studio, but it's 20 minutes.
Man,
I would move closer to her work.
Yes, we've been having this discussion for a while. She's not sure if she's going to stay in the career. If she does, she doesn't. If she leaves, she doesn't want to do that career anymore. So she's just kind of undecided on her career path.
I'm going to decide pretty quick because I'm not spending 4 hours a day on the road.
Absolutely.
Something needs
I totally
to give.
Agree with you, Dave.
That's where your time is going. It's not because you're gazelle intense. It's because she lives in a car.
Yes.
I mean, she's working 5 days a week or 6?
5 days a week.
Yeah. Okay. So that's, what, 20
hours.
20 hours a week she's spending in the car. I think
What do you under construction right now, and it's terrible.
What do you guys make? What we all make this year?
Household income's just over $100,000.
Okay.
What does she make?
She's making 38.
Bull crap. Okay, I'm changing jobs tomorrow.
What does she do?
She's a pharmacy technician.
Okay. Well, I mean, she needs to move, take a job closer to you guys, or you guys need to move up there. I'm not commuting 4 hours for a $38,000 job. That's what's wrong.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I've conveyed that. You know, she loves the work, but not the commute. So
is there not somewhere near you that needs a pharmacy technician?
Yes, she does compound pharmacy. It's a little bit different.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, can we not get closer than 2 hours away?
The answer to that question is yes.
Okay.
Is she being stubborn? Possibly.
Okay. Well,
yeah, you're sweet.
I mean, that's your issue. It's not whether you're gazelle intense. I mean, you've got some career things and commute things that are screwed up here. I'd make changes on that. I mean, the number of times I'm going to commute 4 hours is close to never. It's right there next to never.
Yeah, and to Adam, look to see how long you guys are going to be in this, minus the commute, but just this in general, and to say, okay, how can we sustain this going forward and what that looks like. So having those conversations of priorities is going to be really important. But thanks for the call.
Most people, I can tell them to turn off the TV and they find that many hours a week. And her, I got to get her out of the car. This is the Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. Of Ramsey Solutions. It's the Ramsey Show, where Dad is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. We help people build wealth, do work that they actually love, and create real, amazing relationships. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author. My daughter is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Markel is with us in Sacramento. Hey, Markel, how are you?
Hi, Dave. Hi, Rachel. How are you guys?
Great. How can we help?
I had a question for you this afternoon. I am a Christian and I'm a worship pastor at a church. And I believe that I've heard you in the past talk about while you're in baby step 2 and 3, that while you do pay your tithe because that comes off the top, that perhaps extra generosity above that is not always recommended. My church can sometimes require of us staff to participate in things like backpack drives or shoe boxes at Christmas above and beyond because they don't want us asking our people to do something that we wouldn't do. And I think that's a good idea in general. But most specifically, I wanted to know how you reconciled the story of the widow's mite, where it seemed as though Jesus commended her for giving all that she had. Like, it doesn't seem like she was in a position of strength as she gave. I just want to know how you you thought through that story?
Well, there's several things. I'll send you a copy of the book, The Legacy Journey, where we address several of these things in detail. It's the only Christian book I've done, and I'll send you a copy of it. I think you'll find it interesting.
Thank you.
The widow's mite is the only time in Scripture that we could make the argument that the offering comes not tithe, but an offering, which is above the tithe. We distinguish as Christians, which is what you're doing, a difference between offerings and tithes. Okay, tithe is off the top before you do anything else. First fruits from Proverbs. And now you and I are having a doctrinal discussion, not a legalistic discussion, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For those of you listening in to Markel and I, okay? But so tithe is before I do anything as an evangelical Christian. And then offerings are everywhere in Scripture are from surplus. And
Correct.
you can make the argument easily, logically, that while you're in debt, you don't have surplus.
Correct.
And while you don't have an emergency fund, you don't have a surplus. Now, that's where and past baby step 3 is when I started doing other kinds of giving in addition to my tithe. Okay, once I got there, because I need to take care of my own family first, or I'm worse than an unbeliever. Now, there's lots of interpretations and fun reading on the widow's mite, but if you want to reach down, there's a real thing there where where Jesus is condemning the Pharisees for having a widow do anything in giving. And so if you reach down late in that passage, you'll see him, woe to you, scribes and Pharisees. He starts going after them as having forced this widow to do this. And it comes more off of maybe the teaching, and there's argument about this among theologians, which is a valid discussion or a valid argument, okay? But generally, in North American evangelicals have used the widow's mite to raise money for a building.
Right.
And they stand in the pulpit and go, well, people give, and they give sacrificially. Look at what Jesus commended the widow. And they give sacrificially like that. And I think if you dig into that, you're going to find that might not have been the actual tone. It might have been him condemning them for forcing this widow, because a widow and an orphan in the Old Testament should be taken care of, not milked.
Correct. Correct.
And so, you would know that basically, I can tell already in our discussion, you would know that we have a mandate as believers to take care of widows and orphans.
Right.
And so that's anytime I'm teaching generosity, I'll say, hey, 58% of single moms live below the poverty level. Now, they're not technically widows, but man, there's a real case to be made for that. And I'll go even a step further. If a guy is deployed overseas and his wife is here and he's serving in the military, we ought to be taking care of her. Not just the government. We in the church ought to be taking care of her and her family and making sure they're okay. We just have a mandate to love each other well with money in these situations. And so it appears that since the widows, here's the problem. Scripture's always consistent. Agreed?
Yes.
God does not come cross purposes with himself. And you can't find, and I've studied it for 30 years, I can't find anywhere else in Scripture that an offering is done out of sacrifice. It's always done out of surplus, except the widow's mite, which makes it suspect the way we're interpreting it.
I agree. Would you, as one more maybe thing, the story of Elisha, where he went to the widow and the son, and she was going to make the bread and die, and he said, no, give it to me first. Any thoughts on that particular passage?
Yeah, again, that's a valid point. And of course, we know that he then brought her son back to life. Her son died,
yes.
And the prophet laid hands on him, and he came back to life. So there's something in that message that's in there too, and the whole Jezebel and the prophets of Baal and that whole story right in there of his. Of Elisha. Elijah, in 1 minute, he's king of the world, and the next minute, he's in full depression mode. And so there's, and how that comes into this, how that comes into play on that lack. Now that was a person taking care of another person. That was not a donation to the backpack fund.
You got it.
And so that would not be an offering. That would just be one of us loving each other well. And so, I got $2, and I share one of my dollars with somebody who's hurting. We're both broke, but hey, we're gonna do this together. That's just love and kindness and compassion, those kinds of things. That's not an offering. Is when I'm giving to a cause, to an organization, to And I'm all about backpacks and Christmas boxes. We do all of them. So I'm not against any of that. And again, I am firmly convinced God's not going to be mad about any of this when we get to heaven.
Yes, correct.
I'm firmly convinced he smiles at all generosity. But I am also convinced that sometimes people get manipulated on this subject a lot and pushed around. So I'm not mad at your church for suggesting you guys do this. I understand why they're doing it. I think I get it. It would seem hypocritical to ask all the people to do it and you guys not be doing it. I mean, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, and if it's a small dollar amount, Markel, I mean, who's to say, put it in the budget and do it? I mean, again, it's not a legalistic thing. Yeah.
But if you make $50,000 a year and you give $10,000 to the building fund as an offering, and you got $10,000 in credit card debt, that doesn't sit in my spirit right. It just doesn't feel like truth.
Yeah. And
not that truth is a feeling. I don't believe that. But that's a great discussion. Hang on, I'll send you a copy of Legacy Journey. And any of you that want to read more on that stuff, did a whole treatment on some of these different arguments on the widow's mite in there, because it's a fun discussion as long as everybody doesn't get torqued out about it and mad. And so try to avoid that.
Markel's
folks.
posture was wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely, Markel. Thank you. Thank you very much, Markel. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author. My daughter is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Have you had enough? Enough of waking up at 2:30, worried about how you're going to fill up your tank? Enough of wondering how you're going to put supper on the table? Enough of wondering how the key lights are going to stay on? Enough of worrying about retirement? Enough of putting up with Sally Mae? Won't leave the house. She stays in the spare bedroom. Hey, your hope will come back when you decide to control the controllables. We want to come alongside you. We want to make it easier than ever to get the expert help you need to solve this money thing. So for a limited time, we've marked down our best-selling, life-changing products up to 83%. You can get your hands on our #1 best-selling books and tools like the Total Money Makeover and so much more at prices that'll work for you. Yeah, while everything else is going up, we're going to give you a deal. It's just what you need to finally take control of your money. Our team isn't stopping there. You can get a free financial coaching call with any purchase. Talk with a Ramsey Preferred Coach about your specific money questions and plans. They'll help you make the goals, and you can go from I've had it to I've got this. Enough with the worrying. Enough with the fighting. Enough with the losing sleep. Take control of your money and your life. For a limited time, get up to 83% off and a free financial coaching call when you shop with us at RamseySolutions.com/enough. RamseySolutions.com/enough. Caitlin is with us in Salt Lake City. Hi, Caitlin. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you guys?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Awesome. Well, my husband and I are basically house broke. And I'm stressing out and I don't really know what to do.
Okay. How much is your house payment?
It's about $1,450 every month. My husband works full-time, earning about $54K every year. I'm home full-time with our 2 boys, and we're going to be starting homeschooling in the fall.
Okay. How much debt have you got other than the house?
Actually, we're debt-free. As soon as those government checks came in, we paid off the last of our debt. I quit my job in May 2020, and I've been home ever since.
Okay. Well, something has to change, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
His income or that house? Because you bought that house based on you working.
We bought it back in 2016.
Based on based on both of you working.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And when your income stopped for you to come home, that made you not be able to afford the house.
Right.
So either we could develop some kind of a game plan to get his income up substantially and quickly, or we need to move down in house.
Okay.
Because his take-home pay is what? $4,000?
Around there, I think.
Yeah.
I can't.
You're approaching
like
50% of his take-home pay as your house payment. That's not sustainable.
Right. It's stressing me out.
Yeah. Well, you don't have any room to.
What's his? I can tell the distress in your voice, Caitlin. What's his feeling with everything? Does he feel the same sense of urgency and stress and weight that you're feeling?
Yes, like he does not like it, but we don't know. I mean, we want God to be in everything that we're doing. We just don't know what that looks like specifically.
Yeah, I can help you with that. The blessings of the Lord have no sorrow added to them. So we can safely say this house is not a blessing.
It has been for some time.
Darling,
my dad passed away in 2016.
It has sorrow added to it. It has sorrow added to it. By definition, biblically, when you have sorrow added to something, it is not a blessing from God.
That's true.
By definition. Now, it could have been a blessing earlier when you had both incomes coming in, and it was a reasonable house payment as a percentage of your take-home pay. But the past is the past. You all have made other decisions now. And so, right. there's three possible options because the math is not going to change until you change it. You're going to go back to work. He's going to increase his income dramatically doing something different, or you're going to sell the house. What's he do for a living?
He's a team leader at a financial company.
A team leader at a financial company makes $50,000?
Yeah, but he's a manager of the agents and teams and stuff.
Of the what?
He's a team leader of about 15 people, agents that take calls for the financial company.
Okay. All right. How long has he been doing that?
10 years.
Okay. All right. Well, there has been a dramatic shift in employment in the marketplace in the past 2 years in what people are making. Okay. Now, not everyone has experienced wage increase because the overall wages have only increased about 5.5%. But we've seen entire sectors of the workplace, their incomes double. For instance, developers and programmers. Okay, software engineers. They have gone. A lot of them have gone from 100K to 200K, depending on the category that they're in and what their skill level is. As an example. Okay, and there's other stuff out there, plenty. I mean, entry-level stuff has gone from $10 to $20, and in some cases to $30 an hour. And it sounds like your husband is in a dead-end thing here, and he may need to rethink what he's doing. This might be his wake-up call on his career path. And so, I mean, if he could be on a career path that says, hey, when I take this job and then I do this thing, I get this raise, and I do that thing, I get that raise, and you can see your way through this in a year or 2 or 3, then you can hold your breath and get out of it. But you can't hold your breath forever. Eventually, you're going to drown.
Right.
So, you guys like the house. I can tell by the way you're defending it.
It's not so much I liked it. It just gave my mom a place to stay after my dad passed away. They didn't have their financial things together, so they didn't have any retirement. And so that's why I feel like that was kind of a God moment that now I feel like it's not
Yeah,
so
it
much
was.
anymore.
I think it's okay. It was then, and it's not now.
Is
That's
she
fine.
still with you, Caitlin? Is she still living with you guys?
Yes.
Okay, so moving also means
moving her
or finding a place for, like, I mean, it's more than the discussion than just your nuclear family.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here, kiddo. So what I would, if I were in your shoes, what would I do? Okay, I would set myself a deadline that says I have a new career path that I can see light at the end of the tunnel, for if I'm your husband, that allows us to afford this house by the end of the year. I'm going to give myself 4 to 6 months. And if I don't have that new career path by spring underway, I'm going to sell the house, because I'm not going to sit here in denial and act like this is okay, because it's not okay. It's killing y'all. Now, you can survive it for a short period of time, a year maybe, whatever, like that.
Well, she quit her job in 2020, so it's been 2 years of feeling this.
Yeah, but they're not surviving. They're
No, but I'm just saying she's been feeling it for a while. Yeah.
So I'm going to send you Ken Coleman's book, From Paycheck to Purpose. And I want your husband to jump on the website. I tell you what, I'm also going to send him the assessment and let him take the assessment to send him in a direction of some ways and things he could go do, things he can look at. But I want him to change horses. I don't think he's being paid very well. And $50K is okay for some things, but I think he can do better. And if he can do better, you can keep this house. But if he can't or won't, then you can't keep the house, because you're not going to be able to keep it long term. Something's going to blow up here. Hang on. This is The Ramsey Show. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Garrett and Judy are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good.
Hi, good.
Welcome. Where do y'all live?
Joplin, Missouri.
Oh, fun. Good. Welcome to Nashville.
Thank you.
How much debt did you pay off?
$131. No, just kidding. $131,182.
Close enough.
Close enough. Yes.
All right. How long did it take?
About 5.5 years.
5.5 years. All right. And your range of income during that time?
We started at about a little under 40,000, went up to about 90, and we're back down to around 80.
Okay, cool. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a manual machinist.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a children's minister.
Oh, very good. Yeah. Good. What kind of debt was the 131?
It's all the normal stuff. It was cars and student loans, vehicles. Well, I said cars, credit cards, medical bills, a business loan.
You were like normal.
All of it.
Yep.
Yes.
So what happened 5.5 years ago plugged you into the Ramsey way?
Well, when we got married, my parents paid for us to go through financial peace, and
I love your parents.
They, me too. They're wonderful. And at the time, I was 23 and thought, I am broke and smarter than Dave, and what he's doing is not what we're gonna do. And then...
Did you go through and still thought that?
No. Well, yeah, kind of.
He was 23.
So then
he was 23.
We were ish for a while.
No, I kind of thought, maybe you just didn't go to class at all because of that.
No.
That would have been me. I would have just dissed the class. Yeah, okay.
We went, but... So we kind of started to get serious, and we started to realize the financial chains that we were in. And once you start to realize the chains that you're wearing, and they come off, you start to realize some other stuff. And the first 4 years, I realized I was drowning in alcoholism, and so once I surrendered that to the Lord and got some help. We paid off $70,000 in the last 2 years. Yeah. Once we kind of got that out of the way, got on the same page, got some counseling, got our marriage working. We we really were able to buckle down and make some real progress.
So you've been dry 3.5 years?
2.5 years.
2.5.
Mm-hmm.
Way to go, hero!
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
That's even a bigger deal.
Oh, that's a lot bigger deal.
Than this debt-free stuff.
A lot bigger
That's
deal.
incredible.
We
That's
now
incredible.
are both ministry leaders for a Celebrate Recovery ministry at our church.
Yay! That's a wonderful ministry.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful
It
ministry,
is.
particularly when it's led by someone like you guys. Wow. How proud of him are you, Judy?
Oh, beyond proud. It's changed the course of our family.
Oh, for sure.
You know, our boys will never see him drinking and won't know that person. They
Yeah.
get to see Daddy.
How old are your boys?
3 and 4.
Oh, so they'll never know that.
No, yeah.
Praise God.
Yeah. We're very grateful for that.
That is so awesome.
Yes.
It's incredible.
Very cool.
Yeah. Incredible.
Very cool. Yeah, getting out of debt's easy once you're doing it sober.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I was able to make some.
Stumbling through is not going to work.
Yeah. When your life is out of control, your money's out of control too.
Yeah.
So where in the journey did those kind of cross for you guys? Because you said we were starting this 4.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And so
The big thing was probably our van. We bought. We needed to upgrade because we were having our second child, and we paid too much for it, and it was a point of contention for us for a long time.
For a long time.
And so finally we decided, you know what, we're going to just pay it off and be done with it, and that was kind of what led us into really going hard and that gazelle intensity.
Yep.
Instead of just kind of, well, we're sticking with our budget, but we're not really.
But that was after the sober date.
That was actually just before.
Just before.
Just
Okay.
before.
All right. What happened that woke you up on the sobriety?
Oh man, I'm gonna cry.
Me too. So it's okay. We'll do it together.
I found myself with my 2-year-old's piggy bank and a wire hanger, fishing out money to drink that night. And the Lord said, "You're behaving like an addict, and you probably have a problem." And so after that, I sought out, like I said, a Celebrate Recovery ministry in our area and went and admitted to them, and then later that night to her, and the Lord took that from me.
Amen.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
It's a powerful thing. Yeah. And there's stuff like that, those moments when you got that visual of that piggy bank in your hand, and you if you have something that strong as a milestone, that changes everything. That's a powerful picture.
Yeah. So before that, my life was just totally all about me.
Yeah.
And then after that, I realized that the way that I was living, not only with the alcohol, but with the money, was a threat to my kids. And nobody threatens my kids, you know. And so that inspired me to sell my trucks and sell my guns and selling everything, hustle, grind. I threw shingles for 2.5 years.
Wow.
Which was not fun.
No,
but
it's hard work.
and I'm glad I don't do that anymore. But just as my kids will never have to see me under the influence, they'll never know a family that carries any debt.
Yeah.
So
you're a good man.
Thank you.
That's powerful.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Like the redemption part, usually what we get on this stage, you know, obviously comes for the debt-free, right? That's what you're here for. But always underneath that are other stories and life going on. It's life going on. And the money problems end up being, it's usually a symptom, right, of other things, of out of control or a controlling thing, right? Like all of that. And that's the beauty of being debt-free. Not only the financial side where you guys have no payments.
Right.
You're completely free mathematically and financially, which is just incredible. But there is a spiritual, emotional freedom in other areas of your life that I think it really does. It affects, and you guys are just living proof of complete redemption in even bigger ways.
I'm
than
so
the
proud
debt-free
of you.
score. So
I'm
incredible
honored.
job, you guys.
Thank you.
Honored to know you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Way to go, heroes. Both of
Sweet
you.
boys. I'm excited. Your family tree. I mean, the change is, like you said, too, the legacy is incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, it's a family tree change. That's how it's done right there. And so how's it feel to be free on the debt-free side? No debt.
It feels wonderful. It really does. You know, we decided to come out here and make it a trip, whereas before it would have been really difficult to do any sort of thing like this, really pinching pennies. But now I mean, we get to rent the car that we want. We get to stay where we want. We get to have very expensive meals that we
Welcome
never
to
had
Nashville.
before. Yeah, it's been really wonderful. So just to be able to do those things, and now finally, really just our life is not careening downhill at 95 miles an hour anymore, financially and otherwise, and we can breathe.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. What are the boys' names?
Judah is our oldest, and he's 4, and then Josiah is our youngest.
Okay. And they're at home with a babysitter.
Yes.
Because mom and dad are in Nashville.
That's right. Going to nice dinners and not cutting anyone's food at the table.
Yep. It was our 8th anniversary this week, too, so we said, let's just make it a trip.
There we go.
So
That's good.
fun. Well, happy anniversary.
Happy
Thank
anniversary. Yeah, we got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That's the next chapter in your story, for sure. This is very cool. And you guys got a great story and a great change. God has touched your lives in a very powerful way. And a copy of Total Money Makeover for you to give away to somebody and help them get started, and a Financial Peace University membership for a year. Make sure you let someone go through that, or you guys go through that. You'll probably run into somebody in the Celebrate Recovery that needs a little help with that. There's a hand-in-glove thing with addicts and money problems.
Yeah, it tends to be that way.
Yep, that's the way that rolls. So very good, you guys. Very good. Very well done. We're proud of you, heroes. Man. All right, it's Garrett and Judy, Joplin, Missouri. $131,000 paid off in 5.5 years, making 40 to 90 to 80. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Wow. This is the Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Joshua 1:9. This is my command. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Winston Churchill said, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Thank you for joining us, America.
I was hosting with Deloney, I guess probably a week or two ago, and I didn't say the scripture and the quote of the day to lead in. We just came in from commercial break, and I was like, and thou has been profited above. I started the scripture,
babbling,
and he was like, I was reading the scripture, but it was like this, holy, wonderful. And he was like, are you having a stroke? What is happening? I was like, it's the scripture. He's like, oh my gosh. Came back from commercial. I was like, thou and heaven above. He was like, what are you saying? So we will always prep you, America.
You never know.
Scripture
you
and
never
quote.
know. We gotta let you know what's happening, so you don't think we've had a stroke. George is with us in Jefferson City, Missouri. Hey, George, how are you?
Hey, Dave. Hey, Rachel. It's an honor to be on here and talk to you. I'm great. How are you?
Great. Better than we deserve. How can we help?
Good. A little background information. My wife and I are both in the agriculture field, and our dream, as well as many other people our age, is to own a farm. And this day and age, it's got its challenges with land being as high as it is. And we have a very close family friend that has made us an offer to let us have her farm when she is gone. And she's just turning 70. She's a widow, and she likes to travel and take her horse trailer, and she lives in her horse trailer occasionally for weeks at a time. And she kind of wants us to come and take care of the remaining animals at her farm, and then kind of care for her place, and eventually give it to us when she's gone. We are just overwhelmed with the opportunity. We had several questions, and I want to get your opinion on a few things. We currently have a house that I guess we would potentially sell if we decide to go through with this, and she had offered for us to just move into her home, and she would build a small shop or house on her property. She has a rental house across the road from her that she said she'd gladly kick the tenant out, and she could live there or we could live there. The other option is for us to build a home on her farm. My wife and I have definitely decided that we do not want to move into her home, because when she comes back from trips, that's her house, and as gracious as of an offer that is, I think she needs to stay there when she's home. That being said,
how old are you guys?
I am 30 and my wife is 28.
Are you planning on farming this full time when this all occurs?
Yes, but we both have steady jobs. But
how many acres is this?
This is 80. And Dave, my wife and I also we rent a farm right now, and we raise sheep, and that generates a fair amount of money on top of our 9 to 5
will you be
job.
working her farm under this arrangement?
Our own animals, though. She actually has mules, and that's what she takes and rides all across the country. And
I'm saying, are you going to be a farmer on this farm?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes,
okay,
sir.
That's what I'm asking. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And
so here's what this is. This lady is unbelievably kind and generous, and she holds everything with a very open hand.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does she obviously doesn't have heirs?
She actually does have 2 sons, and that was our first concern. Why is this not going to them? Well, she has made it very clear that her kids are taken care of with her. I guess they have a fair amount of money, and both the kids are taken care of. Her grandkids will be taken care of with her retirement. I think she has quite a bit of money and other. So,
if I'm in your shoes, I number one, you're unbelievably grateful, and you should be.
Yes,
but without anything structured around this is very dangerous for your family.
Sure.
You could spend 15 years here and end up with nothing if she changed her mind in the middle of it.
Right.
And so that's just not okay.
Sure.
So, we can either sit back and wait on her to pass away, and you just go have your career, and you don't worry about this farm until then. That's
right.
Option one, and that's a clean option. That's fine. And then if she does leave it to you, then we'll deal with it then. But if she wants you to live there now and start working the farm on the auspices that it's going to be yours, then there needs to be something structured in terms of the ownership of this. The cleanest way to do that would be for her to go ahead and deed it to you with her having a life estate, which means that she would have she could live there as long as she's alive.
Sure.
And that's a clean way to do it, but it's a pretty extreme thing to ask of someone that's this loosey-goosey and this generous.
Sir. Now, she doesn't. It would be me putting my own livestock on the farm. I don't know if I made that clear.
You're structuring your whole life around a farm that is not yours.
So should we get some? Now she wanted to update her will and put a TOD on the farm, and
that would help.
Is there something?
She can change that though, as long as she's alive.
Right. Now, the way we kind of looked at it, well, if she pulls the plug in 15 years, we've lived there, taken care of it. We've enjoyed it for 15 years, and we've been able to sit there and save money for the past 15 years, and we can go.
Yeah, but you don't own anything for 15 years, and everything around you's gone up for 15 years.
Okay.
No.
So the right way to go about it is to get some legal documentation and what
I
she said.
I think the two of you need to sit down with her and with an attorney. And
Okay.
The downside is it's awkward even for me just sitting here saying it to ask this lady to go ahead and deed the property to you. But but that's the only way I know that you're going to be protected.
Okay.
And I worry about this thing unraveling because, I mean, suddenly one of these kids raises up and talks mama back into it. And, man, those are the calls we get every day here on the air, stuff that's weird and went sideways.
Right. Well, I was hoping you could shed some light on some questions that I need to ask in order that I haven't thought about, and
I think you're right. I think there's a lot of questions here. And the thing you want to do on stuff like this is you want to figure out, okay, how is she protected and how are you protected if everything goes sideways?
Okay.
If nobody, and if you can figure out your exit strategies, like you said, you'd kind of thought about that. We could just leave after 15 years and we would have had a free place to stay during that time. That's not totally bad, but the bad part of it then is you've not owned a farm all of that time.
Right.
Because you're sitting around waiting on this one that didn't come.
Right. Okay. All right.
It's just a hard relational thing because she sounds like such a sweet lady, and I don't want to put her in jeopardy in this either. And I don't want her kids raising up thinking you guys have come in there and taken advantage of her in some way or another.
Yeah. Lots of clear communication. Over-communicate.
With everybody involved.
I was going to say with the son, everything. It's just like, hey, we're going to get it all out there.
Yeah. She needs to communicate with the kids in front of you.
With an email, have a written, whether it's an email.
And that's for the relational part of it.
Yes.
And then have a good estate planning attorney structure this in a trust or a deed over now. But something that I don't want her getting remarried and changing her mind.
Right.
That's a lot. She's 70. That can happen.
And she could, and to your point, protecting her, she still has, another 10, 15, 20 years.
Another way to do it would just be get on with your life and go by there and feed the animals.
Yeah.
And not worry about all this.
Yeah.
Just keep your house and go by there and feed the animals, and if it all works out, it works out.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way. Other than the fact you got to drive over there to feed the animals. But wow. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, it's Rachel Cruz, co-host on The Ramsey Show. If you want to do your debt-free scream live on the show, visit RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream. We'd love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story. That's RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream.